yeah, just down here, just outside Cork City here with Peter Twomey. First came across Peter just 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So you decided to exit dairying.
Yeah.
And I suppose we'll just look around here today and just see what has changed in the 2 years.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot.
So yeah, just maybe the time, Peter, 2 years ago, we rewind back to that. You were milking cows morning and evening.
Morning and evening. Yeah, I think May 2023 we made the decision finally after a lot of thought to exit dairy. But I don't know, when did I ring you? I can't remember what month exactly.
August, I think it was around August.
Yeah.
It was, we'd say October, I think the cows moved, or November maybe.
December, it was December.
To move into December, yeah.
But it was like, I suppose, what I was processing in May was the thought of failure, or why was I getting out and stuff like that. And I think I had a contact with yourselves regarding maps, and we had a kind of a, not yourself directly, but the company in general, and I saw a lot of online sales and stuff like that, and I just felt like, it was probably a bad year to get out of cows as well. I know, I remember milk price and all that stuff, or cow price it isn't where it is now.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
But I needed to do it, so I just rang Grasstech, and they sent me you, and then I just, that good or bad.
Unfortunately, not me.
But I found that, like I said, getting out of something you've been doing all your life is harder than you think. It's not just, you have to. I think farming in general, is some fellas worry about what fellas over the ditch will be thinking, and fellas sitting at the pub thinking, geez, that Twomey fella with the pigs, what's he doing, or whatever. And but when we had the drought in 2018, all that left my mind, because I was just focusing on what we're doing. We'd no grass and stuff, and that was the initial stage of getting out of the cows for me. And every year from then was kind of like, if this happens again, we can't go through this, with no grass and all this. And with good cows, very good cows. And I think that's what got over the line for us in the end, maybe, was the quality of the cow.
Yeah. You had, in fairness, I remember the crop report was over the 500 kilos milk solids, which was always a good KPI to go by, and fertility was exceptional. The cows were in great nick, and they were well bred, and you had a lot of work put in and a lot of care put into the cows.
So always, I suppose in 2018, when I was thinking about exiting, it was like, you've got two choices. You just sell what you have and hope for the best, or you guarantee, I was probably planning it then, so it was like, I can have 90 average cows, or we can have 60, 70 exceptional cows, and it was like, we kind of upped our game with the breeding then, just for that nearly. It was kind of like a means to the end and stuff like that.
Only a 5-year plan and
kind of I'm unintentionally, but it was like, what I found in 2018, we had 98 cows and 2 bulls in the paddock. We might see it later where the sows and piglets are, and they were worthless, 350, 450 a cow, because there was no fodder and stuff. And I was thinking, Jesus, what happens if you want to get out and this is what you're left with? So it was like, trimmed down. We started culling heavily for loads of reasons. We didn't have the grass to feed our cows anyway, but it was also with exit in mind, Sounds like it was a good plan, but
it was comes out, but that's the way things happen. But and what, you're milking about 25 years or so, is it you?
Yeah, well, 2001, I was 21, I started up, and that was the foot and mouth. So we got 25 cows in from West Cork over the line. There was one clearance sale of 10 cows. So one guy, and then we got really good stock from Derry Donovan as well, in calf heifers, and they were pedigree breeders down there now at the time. But that lorry got stopped by the guards on the way home back down to West Cork, because it was gone past 12 o'clock by the time he was, and that was a strict deadline. No animals were to be moved after 12 o'clock, that 31st of March, I think, whatever. Right. Yeah, so we got in 25, we upped 39. I bought cows off the guy I farmed it in my first year in a farm apprenticeship, John Quinlan, Carrigan Shore, so they were pedigree stock as well. And pedigree wasn't a deal breaker, but it was just dealing with guys with good cows.
With good cows and good genetics. You're trying to buy in the best you can.
Yeah.
And it's all, let's say, we've been honoured that we sold 30 cows here and got on very well in fairness and everything, right? But it's always a thing for me, I suppose. Like you're speaking there, you like that's going back 25 years ago. You know the number of cows that came from the farm, the pedigree, and the story behind each one of the cows. It's a very tough decision always to sell the herd of cows, because you can sell a tractor, you can sell a machine or different things around the yard, but there's a story. Each cow has a story behind her, and,
and you see, that's the reason why we sold them, because we were losing that. We were losing that affection for the cow, or we were losing probably the interest in milking more than the animal. And it was like, I could have said, Pat, look, we're going to hang on for another year, but as soon as you lose it, you have to, and it's respect to the animal to do that then, because high welfare is a big thing in this yard, and you know, if that starts slipping, it's bad for everybody. It's a terrible atmosphere, and it's a terrible...
100%. And milking cows is a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing to do, but if you're not enjoying it, enjoyment goes out of it. It's a sentence. So, and like where we are then today, this is the calf shed.
This was, and it was 2023 that we figured out how to set this up properly, because there's a fall from top to bottom, and it was like, if a calf does a piss up there, it ends up in the bottom pin below, and we the whole place bedded, and it was like, how do we, and we get musty then on the 1st of March, we'd have a bit of scour and stuff, and then we started building out of this big square 8x4 by 3 bales, like little environments, small environments so we'd have a small little for baby calves, and then we could take that away and put in a bigger pen for calves a couple of weeks old, and we actually had a fabulous setup for 50 calves in here. And then, just as we figured out, that September we had 80 people in here for our first event, like, you know. So
50 calves, 80 people, that's the square footage you're working that's the change in it. But,
well, actually, we actually got married on a television program, and I say it now with less embarrassment than when I say it back then, but I brought a wedding planner into this when there was 30 calves and there was shit all over the walls, and it was if you think the smell is bad now, like, you should have smelt it back then, and it was like, I could see her going, what? But this is kind of what we had in mind, was it's a barn, it's everyone has one of these sheds. This shed is, I would say, 40 years old.
Sure, those roofs are every yard.
But they're iconic, like, and it's like places would pay for this kind of atmosphere just because it's different, you know what I mean? Like, so
to build it now, you know about it.
Yeah, but you see, like, I suppose while we were winding down the cow, like, as in 2018, I kind of had a serious think at the cows, but since 2008 or before it, we had 2 pigs all the time, like we'll say, and then 2018. At the ploughing championships, I met the Irish Pig Society and a good friend now, Dermot Allen, and I heard him talking about how he's made a business out of pigs, and I was very interested because we had 4 sows. This is the story that we have to keep rolling, is that I got a cheque for €1,200 in my name, so I bought 4 sows out of that.
Yes.
And we had them here on the farm, 2018, and it was like, because of the stress of the drought, I was thinking of selling the pigs, and then I realised they were a good thing to do in the evening, like to switch off from, and they didn't need grass or silage. They need to be fed with stuff that I need to buy anyway. You know, and fair enough, the price can change, but it was never going to run out. It was never, responsible for its quality, or, and so when I heard Dermot thinking, I was thinking, geez, it costs the same to feed them, whether it's a business or a hobby, and I was thinking maybe we'll do something. So then we started doing freezer pigs, and that's a hard enough sell because you need to deep freeze, and we had a half pig or a full pig, and then, so we done that for a year or two, and then we got a call from Ballymaloo. They bought pigs off the same guy I bought the 4 sows off, and they asked him, and he asked me, would I rear their piglets for them and sell them weaners, so their sows came here, so we had 4 sows, we went to 11. We went from 4 sows in one boar to 7 sows and 2 boars. And then the year after, we went to 25 sows. Right. And if you want to see chaos, that's what that was. Yeah. We were farrowing in a shipping container out the back on the fall, on the slope. But we were doing our best for the animal, like, But at the same time, then we were battling a kind of a lack of love for the cows, not a love for the cows, but for the system, the milking system, and things were starting to get exciting on the pig side of things. And it was the evening milking that was coming at me all the time. It was like being
Yeah.
in a vice, and it was,
And I remember even that time, you say you have a young family there, so they're getting older now, but
yeah,
there was matches, training, same as
Yeah.
I suppose a lot of Irish families,
Yeah.
that there's
Yeah,
draws
yeah.
on different
Yeah.
evenings, at the evening.
and like that's when I think back to it. Like when we had the cows, we could never enjoy fine weather because we
Yeah.
were in drought.
Yes.
So the sun is shining, and I'm there. The kids are doing the slippy slide down the garden. And I'm thinking, will it ever just rain?
Yeah,
like, or,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
what's that? You know, when you can't enjoy a
Yeah.
fine spell of weather because you're worried about grass. I started thinking, like, this isn't healthy either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like everyone, we all need rain every now and then for gardens and flowers and veg and whatever. But you know, in Ireland we rarely get, you know, a
real
nice
good-
spell, and then when you can't enjoy it. So all this really is, all this change and the cow thing was because of family. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not. It was like, if I dived into the cows and the pigs together, I don't think I'd be a present father or a
Yeah.
good husband, or, you know, because it's just too much. Like, you
Yeah,
know.
we tried to do two things at once,
Yeah,
never worked
yeah,
out.
yeah.
So
But
that's where we are now.
yeah,
Brilliant. No, that's perfect. So look, what we might do is go out and give a look and see, I suppose there's a massive change outside in the
It's
landscape
fucking
outside.
bananas.
Whatever,
Like,
but this is minor enough what the calf shed has turned into compared to
no,
what
I know,
the
but like,
outside is
yeah,
really.
but sure, I didn't see that. I didn't see it coming. I
Yeah.
still don't. Yeah, I still don't. It's like every time I go out there, it's like the first time I'm going out there,
Yeah.
and that's very exciting in one way, and it's like, yeah, it's not terrifying. It was terrifying before, but it's getting less terrifying. I suppose that's a sign of
Yeah.
getting confident. And
Yeah, and I know we'll say maybe, as you said, you hadn't planned fully, but the 5 years and the build up of the pigs, you knew that there's an income stream coming from somewhere here. The cows will go, this will be a bit slower
Yeah.
burner possibly. Or
Well, like,
were you stressed about that, or were you worried about that?
No, because we were turning over 200,000 or 300,000 a year in a very complicated way, I thought,
Okay.
with the milk, because when you have a grass-based system, you've no grass. What's your system? That's I keep asking guys that question because I don't know what the answer was. Because if you're feeding 6 kilos all summer, where's your margin? You know,
yeah.
and if you're buying in stuff or you're grazing your silage ground because you're gone tight, and you know. Gee, when I think back, I'm even getting stressed at the thought of it, because this year, for example, we would be
You'd be
shagged
troubled.
for grass.
Yeah.
And life is short and time is moving fast,
Yeah.
and that's a bad combination. Do you know what I mean? And
This year was let's say north of here, but where we are, we had a brilliant grass growing year. You would have really been under pressure here.
You're
The
really
southeast
under
is under pressure.
pressure.
The UK is under pressure at the moment.
Yeah.
But so,
Yeah.
as you say, you can't control.
we used to be able to do 40 acres of pit silage, and we'd buy maybe 20 or 30 more acres off my cousin. That was the thing we had between us, and we do 100 bales of silage then, and then we do 8 or 9 acres, like 10% of the farm in kale as a reseeding program kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Probably could have reseeded a bit more ground, and maybe, but we had a good system going. And I think when our calving pattern was 412 days, whatever it was in 2012, it looked terrible on paper, but we were actually never ran out of grass, never ran out of money, never dried off our cows, which was, you know, but the farm was never under as much pressure as it was when we started calving 80% of our herd in 6 weeks, like, and
Yes.
the whole herd hitting the ground, you know, and
And there's a different share of it. Like, there's no book for farming as such. You have to
No.
farm with what the
Yeah.
land you have
Yeah.
and what you're working
Yeah.
with. So
And
it's
and
interesting
and,
that-
and what we're doing now, especially, there is no rule book for it, and that's exciting because you can kind of do what you want. And I feel like even when we sold the cows, I felt like I owned the farm for the first time,
Yeah.
because I could kind of do it. Like, I didn't have to. That's for cows. Like,
There
was
I know
more.
I know what you're
we
saying.
can do.
Yeah,
I know.
freedom.
Yeah, but like the huge thing here is we've leased 60 acres of the farm as well. So
Yeah.
like, that's to be recognised. It's not just we haven't just retired from dairy.
Oh, I know,
and
yeah, you're
gone straight into a massive
Yeah.
business that's doing them unbelievably well.
Yeah.
There's a 60-acre lease in place with Cork Rooftop Farm that has provided us with stability and eased the transition, we'll say. It's also provided me with a salary because I work for them 25 hours a week, we'll say. But it's also made the farm now 100% a farm for people, food for people. There's no co-ops, there's no marts, there's no supermarket. Well, the veg has the ability to do supermarket, but between the pork and the veg, and you'll see now what else we have outside.
Well, maybe just to go into that, the Cork rooftop farm. Thankfully, I'm from Limerick, as you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about what happens in Cork, right?
Oh my God.
So the Cork rooftop, the Cork rooftop farm. Would say you have 60 acres there. You're growing. General veggies, carrots. Or what is?
I suppose at the moment there is 3 polytunnels, and on the farm, we'll say that's another change to the skyline of the farm. Like we'll say, bursting with cucumbers and tomatoes. Like we'll say. There is like acres of veg, and then there's small concentrated market garden area as well. But there's an automatic robotic system growing and weeding veg like on the farm. And I was saying to Brian, the last time that this farm supplied food for people, it was my grandfather on a horse and cart. If you think about it, he was delivering milk in town on a horse and cart. So we're gone back to providing people not with milk but with pork and other meats, and then all the veg. And like this space, for example, we're hoping in the coming weeks to turn into a farmer's market, but with just our produce, just to start off, because there's an unbelievable variety of carrots, beetroot, kale, cucumbers, courgettes, what is there, turnip, and tomatoes and pumpkins coming, and like there's a massive abundance of food now coming out of the farm. And like when you see a drill, like the tunnels, we'll say, for example, they're in the high field, right? And I always think back to when I put up the strip wire and you get a grazing out of where the tunnel is.
Yes.
And we're drawing nearly 100 kilos of tomatoes a day out of that now. And like that will feed how many people? You know what I mean? So there's always things to go back, to go forward, to think back, but to move forward and get excited about.
And we'll say, as I said, we're just outside Cork City, we'll say, so that
we're actually in Cork City now.
Okay, this class is
Cork City. This is Cork City now. We're in the Cork City Council area. So
yes, so the food is going in there. So your low food miles, which is feeding into everything, the sustainability and everything around that as well, which is
and like what we're trying to do, and it's just going to take us a little bit more time, is like if we can do a market stall here, but offer a cup of coffee, if we can get a bit of bacon going, you can't resist a bit of bacon in the back, but people can come here, see the pigs, see what other meat we'll have growing up the back. We hope to have an example of pork, bacon, lamb, beef and chicken. But that'll go with all the veg that Brian will grow, and it'll all be available to buy here, but to see up there. Do you know what I mean? And then eventually we might evolve to a lap that people can walk. That's a year or two away before we've the whole thing. And insurance is a big thing here as well. But we want, like there's 750 houses here, 250 houses here, another 114 got approved apartments there, and there's another 100 going down there, right? So we'll say that's all 2-3 people in the house, we'll say, right? And if they all come in here, we're shagged, because we'll never be able to keep up. But I'd rather have that problem than a supermarket begging me for something at a lower price, So that's our aim, is to feed offer these people this space to come into on a Saturday, maybe a Sunday, we'll see, or a Friday. We'll have to work it out, but I'm just saying that they can come in, meet each other. They're going to be working. They're both going to be working. They're not going to meet each other over there. They'll be at events and work and sports, and come here on Saturday. Their kids will go, can we go to Glenbrook? Can we see the pigs? And they go, sure, as we're there we can pick up whatever, get a coffee, meet someone over. Oh, you're in number whatever up there, and how are you? And they'll meet here.
Yes. And
it's a community thing, and we're feeding the community, and we're having somewhere that I don't think any housing estate will build that infrastructure. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be.
No, and everybody's looking at that. So time is the problem everyone has. They don't have enough time. So to be able to go somewhere like that as a family occasion, just again, the sustainability around the food, see where it's coming from. The generations are moving on, Peter, where they don't, we'd say, we're going back to when we were in school, everyone was maybe a step removed from a farm, whereas now there isn't education, and what's happening on farm is almost zero. So,
no, there's loads, and it doesn't, like kids don't have to figure out that they're eating the pigs when they're here. They can that's fine, but at least they know what they look like. And the amount of adults who've never seen a live pig, because you don't, they're in a controlled whatever. So
different.
So look, it's an opportunity. I suppose we did buy the 4 sows when that development did get planning, so there was a bit of a thought behind being able to do something. But this I think with Brian after coming in, it's a business for him and it's a business for me, but if we can come together in this space
Yeah.
and collaborate on the sale of our,
Product, yeah.